So you're at the point where you need to set up your email provider, and we are going to use Amazon AWS's Simple Email Service, or SES. So Amazon SES is what we're going to call it for short. So that setting is here, where we have PHP mail, and we're going to choose Amazon SES. And now, if you don't already have Amazon SES, I suggest you go over to the link in the description below and get your free account. You will need a credit card to sign up. There are directions on YouTube on how to do it without. I just use my credit card. It's so incredibly inexpensive. They give you so much free sending anyways, and even if you are paying for it, it's 10 cents per 1,000 messages. So if you're sending 1,000 or 10,000 messages a day or a month, then you're at the point where you probably can just afford to pay for it. Like the service is easy and good. So once again, I want you to make sure that you have an SSL certificate on your domain. You can get one for free. There's instructions in the description below. Just click the video and watch it, and it'll show you how to get one if your system doesn't give you one instantly. Again, if you have a reasonable hosting, these things should be set up automatically, so you should be good to go. So the first thing I'm going to do now that I've signed up, I'm going to choose Simple Email Service as what I want. I'm using North Virginia because it is closest to my host geographically of the servers that exist. There's one in Europe and 2 in the US for the Simple Email Service, and you have to be on one of these to be able to set it up. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to domains. I'm going to verify a new domain. This is going to require your cPanel, right? And I'm going to put in would look like this.com. I'm going to have to create an MX record. Remember, there's CNAME records. I must have done something wrong here. It's the DKIM. Right, DKIM settings. So here's the CNAMEs that I was talking about. So you need 1 text record, 3 CNAME records, and then there's a set mail from domain, and so you need that record also, and I've lost it in the mix because I didn't do it right instantly. So what I'll do is I'll just go back. We'll do it one more time. And so, as you see, I'm human just like the rest of us. It'll look like this, and this is the generate DKIM settings. So there we go. To do this, you just need to go to your zone editor and put all these records in. So I'm going to do that quickly. Here's the zone editor. we'll start with this text record. And text record. So sometimes you won't want to put all of it in. You'll just want to put in this first part. Most cPanels will allow you to just put it all in and ignores the rest, kind of. But GoDaddy specifically has the worst record editor I've ever touched in my life, and that's why I would never choose them to host things seriously myself at this point. On top of that, they're really slow. So this here is for the DKIM, so that's for preventing forgery of your emails. And I'm going to do a long video on SPF, DKIM, and DMARCs in the future. It's a subject that you should be aware of if you're in control of sending email, but most of us don't want to be aware of it because it's really, really boring. But all that does is it uses your DKIM and your SPF to make sure that there's no cross-site, or to make sure there's no taking of your email and using it, and you can actually identify what you'd like done with email that comes that don't complete the check perfectly on either side. It's really actually very clever. They've used the two existing technologies to then identify what should be done with an email that doesn't meet the security check. And it'll make your email essentially more deliverable, which is the big go from this. All right. So now it's pending verification, and hit the refresh, and now it's verified. And then typically the next thing I'll do is I'll verify an email. If I could spell, it would look like this. Now if it goes, now this one can take quite a long while to be received in your email box. So we're just gonna give it 2 minutes. So I made all those extra emails days ago, and then I started digging into what best practices should be, because I've been doing this basically using the emails to verify the bounces and complaints and all that. And what I discovered is there are other ways to do it. Okay, so here's my email. Open that up. Click the button. Boom. Congratulations. And then if I refresh this now, we're verified. So now we can use this domain and this email address to send emails out, which is the important part at this exact second. So I'm going to open this one in a new tab. Close that back down. We have arrived at the simple. So I'm going to create. I'm going to call it Mautic. Bounce and complaints. Now, I've been told you need to do this I've seen this done twice, and both times they just use the exact same publication, so I don't understand why you'd have to, but maybe it's something I'm just missing. Now here is the tricky part. There is a built-in webhook. And it is at mailer/Amazon/callback, I believe. So I'm just gonna triple check that here in a piece of documentation. But this is built in. Mailer Amazon callback. And so and then when this actually confirms, you'll get an ARN here. This number will change over. I have had it do it on another account. Actually, I've had it do it on 2 other accounts that I'm using. I'm going to move all mine over to this, but I think this is the way you should preferentially be setting up your bouncing complaints. At this point, there is a strong suggestion you request a sending limit increase. This is going to take a little bit because you basically have to go in and send them a ticket, which you wait for them to get to. And your ticket requires some specific information. How you build acquire your mailing list, how you handle bounces and complaints, how can recipients unsubscribe, and how did you choose the amount of email you wanted with the request. I always pick a low number based on where I'm at now, so I'd say, like, if you have 100 subscribers, I'd round it up, but I'd say maybe I want to send 1,000 emails because I'm going to grow. That's the easy way to guess that number. But so just remember that this here needs to be sent out to the in the request. If you don't do that, you can only send to verified domains and accounts. I'm not going to bother with this one because pretty much when I'm done, I'm going to melt down all the things you've seen videos to and get rid of them because I don't need them to get hacked and I don't need them to send out mass quantities of email because I missed something or I put something up that in theory I don't think should allow you to take over my domain or my stuff, but it just doesn't matter. I'm going to erase the whole pile and set a lot of stuff back to default when these videos are done, and then I'm going to start working within actual Mautic instances that are more production based to show you how to create the campaigns. So now that that's up, we need to actually configure Mautic. Here we are, Amazon SES. This is your server that you want to connect with, and we need credentials. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to SMTP settings. Here they are. Guess what? They're just magic credentials. And then you'll click this Create My SMTP Credentials. And off it goes. It tells you a user, and I'm going to delete this user as soon as I'm done configuring it, because I might not get this whole thing removed before then. So you just make sure that everything looks right. Good. Create. Oh, there's my username and password. Then you take this. You can download these so you have them, but again, I'm not going to leave these. As soon as I'm done configuring, I'm going to go get rid of them, because one of you jerks will use my SES, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. Somehow there'll be somebody who's watching this that decides they're going to go use mine. So when I get to success, when I test the connection, so now I can apply. And then I'll go back. And then I can send. It says success. And so here in a second or so, I would think I would see this email show up here. So I have not increased my sending limit, so I can only send to essentially this email address, or any email addresses that were on this domain. Oh, and there we go. I just had to click it and hit this request confirmations. This is all set up. Again, I'm going to get rid of that user the second I've proven that you're all set up here. So there's my test email. So you see it is sending out. I'm going to go domains here. I'm going to click on the domain. Notifications. I'm going to edit these. So this is how you're going to send your bounce and your complaints. And then we're going to disable that. You can disable the email feedback forwarder. However, if you do not configure a method of tracking bounces and complaints, Amazon SES will send bounce and complaint notifications to the email in the return path or source fields for the email, just so you're aware. The reason I've disabled this is the webhook is now functioning. We should get those bounces and complaints back to Mautic via the webhook. And then if you look at our send statistics, any second now this will actually show that we've sent one email, because that actually sent out via the host, and you are configured. Now, I do believe that is the best practice for configuring Amazon SES. Once this is set up, you're ready to go. You can create a campaign, you can create an email, and you can send out via Amazon SES. Now, the webhook we just set up requires one more cron job to run, and so you can find that cron job in the documentation for your Mautic install by going to mautic.org documentation, looking for the cron jobs. That will be your fastest, best way to find it, and it's good for you to practice actually putting a cron job in. If you just followed along last time, you should be able to figure out how to do it by just rewatching the video, which I will have a link for in the description of this for the cron job. So that should have you hitting all the right spots when setting up Amazon SES with Mautic, and you are ready to start sending. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, give me a big like. If you think I'm wrong about how to do this and you'd like to tell me a better way, I would love to discuss it. Put that in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more videos about creating segments, creating campaigns, creating emails, and just basically using Mautic to market, make sure you subscribe to catch those videos. Thanks for watching, and I love you guys.